Hello, my name is Erica Shea, and you are tuned into Slay, where each week you and I turn our attention inward and reflect on ideas intended to help move you into a state of inspiration and empower you to take decisive, proactive action toward achieving your goals and reaching your highest potential. Today, we are talking through one key way to lead a more fulfilling life, and that is by challenging your personal assumptions. If you are ready to improve your emotional well being and just truly grow as an individual, then this episode is for you. Let's get into it. The poet William Blake wrote, "The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven." In other words, our minds have the power to transform our experience into something positive or negative, depending on how we choose to interpret them. It's our thoughts and beliefs that shape our mental landscape, meaning our perception of reality is not necessarily based on objective reality, but rather on our own subjective interpretation of it based on how we're thinking or feeling. So, for example, say you and a friend listen to a podcast episode. Doesn't have to be this one, but say you just have very different reactions to it. One of you finds that the episode was uplifting and inspiring, while the other one finds that it was boring and even maybe just like pointless. This is because of our interpretations, which are influenced by our thoughts, our beliefs, and even our experiences. Depending on what's going on in your inner worlds, your ears are listening out for different things based on the title and the description. That's going to influence, again, like what you think it's going to be about. And if you're not receiving any of the data that you've determined that you were going to hear about, it could either suck or it could be great. It's the same thing in life with each day, though. If we start the day out decidedly that it's going to be a great day because we've established in our minds that it's going to be, then we're going to find means of validating that declaration. So even if things come up that challenge us, we're going to be more likely to see the opportunity in the obstacle and maybe even just think more creatively because of the obstacle. We're going to find a way to see the silver lining because we've determined within ourselves that the day is going to be good no matter what. If we start the day out and we decided that it's going to be a shit show, then every incident that goes wrong, it's going to validate that. It's going to reinforce the declaration that you made at the beginning of the day. And while you're likely annoyed and frustrated that that is so, part of you, your ego, it's low key satisfied because you're such a savant, right? Like you got what you wanted, whether it was good or bad, you got what you wanted. We create these self fulfilling prophecies all the time where our assumptions influence our behavior, which in turn reinforces our beliefs and validates what we decide to be true for ourselves in all areas of life. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, who we are being today determines the quality of our tomorrow. So I ask you, how are you being right now? What is the quality of your heart right now? What was your mood starting the day? Is it possible that you are in the process of self fulfilling a prophecy from this morning, from yesterday, or a seed that you planted some time back, a long while back? You see, what you give energy to, attention to, you give life to, and the conditions of your life, the condition of our outer world, it's a reflection of our inner world. If your inner talk and emotional state is dark, heavy, and sad, then the outer conditions, they create a feedback loop for you that reinforces that emotional state, as within, so without. The opposite is also true, though. And if the opposite is also true and you're not satisfied with the current state of things, isn't it past time to just make sure that the inner talking aligns with that which you wish to see and experience? You see, when we make assumptions, we tend to look for evidence that confirms our beliefs, and we ignore evidence that contradicts them, which can lead to biased decision making and behavior. Good or bad, these assumptions, when they are backed by faith and conviction, they will self fulfill. And whether we realize it or not, we make them left and right. As a society, anytime a particular group has been stigmatized or stereotyped, and it's believed that all members of that group are the same, anytime we've experienced something in the past that resulted in the formation of an opinion about a particular type of person rather than an isolated event of one specific individual, or one that really stands out to me is on social media when just 2 minutes of dialogue get chopped up and screwed and people lose their whole selves without gaining full context, and they start to just make these radical judgments on others, which is not only ignorant but reckless because you're just giving away your energy negligently, investing in things that don't have a return or that don't serve your higher good. Remember, we can't change what we have not first acknowledged or accepted. So I highlight these means of taking on these assumptions, be them conscious or unconscious, so that you can cultivate more awareness around them for yourself. If the mind can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven, and we know that like attracts like, and that a belief backed by emotion is that special something that helps transmute the intangible to tangible, then it becomes especially important to challenge whatever pops up in our minds and to make sure it is worthy of holding space in our mind and receiving any of our attention. You want to make sure that your attention is only going to things that serve you, that which serves you, that which grows you and moves you forward. Feelings of failure, feelings of lack, feelings of unworthiness, feelings of hate, feelings of envy, those all have a source. And guess what? The sucky truth that no one wants to own up to is the only person to blame for those feelings is you, because you're the only one who can feed them with your attention. People can only hurt us if we give them power. People's words, they only have power over us if we choose to believe in them. We have to decide to accept them. They can't hurt us otherwise. They're non physical, they have no weight, only the weight of thought that we tie to them. If something doesn't feel good, why accept that for yourself when you have full freedom of choice? If we create the future based on the thoughts that we think today, doesn't it make sense to take full ownership and think about the building materials? If you want something beautiful and sustainable, think about what you are giving life to today. If you wouldn't want to take it into the future with you, take it into tomorrow with you, it doesn't deserve your time today. So challenge your assumptions, notice your feelings, because as we constantly talk about, they are the best indicator for what you are manifesting and what you are drawing into your life. Creating a positive, self-fulfilling prophecy for myself, for my life, it matters to me. And if it matters to you, then there are just certain things that must become a part of how you operate. It's not a should, it is a must. And that's the only way of operating. It is your standard of being, it is your standard of living. For instance, developing a positive mindset, it is a non-negotiable. It is a requisite. Set yourself up on a strict mental diet where you live only off of positive thoughts and beliefs about yourself and your abilities so that you can cultivate the belief that you can achieve your goals and that you have the skills and resources to do so. Visualize yourself achieving your goals and experiencing success. This can help you develop a positive expectation about your future and motivate you to take action towards your goals. And when it comes to taking action towards your goals, focus on setting realistic and achievable goals in order to help you build confidence and develop a sense of accomplishment as you make progress towards bigger and bigger goals. Build momentum and develop a sense of control over your life by taking action. Assume a position of greatness in your demeanor, in how you carry yourself, and how you engage in all areas of life. Finally, surround yourself with positivity, positive people and environments that support your goals and beliefs, that help reinforce your positive, self fulfilling prophecy and provide you with the support and with the encouragement that you need to succeed. Challenge yourself to assume that where there's hurt, anxiety, fear, or just concern in your mind or in your heart, that is a place where you need some reframing to cultivate more love, more hope, more faith, because the vision that you have for your life and the desires of your heart, they depend on it. It's not going to feel good at first. It's not going to happen super fast. But I swear to you, with persistence and time, the change that you're seeking, it will happen. You just have to give the seed of change its best chance, which comes through watering it, giving it sunlight, and just keeping it in an ideal environment to bloom and blossom. If I listened to the voices in my head that wanted me to continue to dwell on things that made me sad, mad, or anxious, I wouldn't have been able to make the moves that I needed to make that enabled me to build the confidence that I needed to build to stay faithful in my choice to proceed on the new route. And I wouldn't have been able to witness or experience the beautiful changes in my life that have taken place and that have led me to this platform today. The cure is in the pain. And it's a saying I believe with my entire being. We are our own greatest enemy. The enemy is not outside of us, it is us. It is always you against you. Decide what life you want. What kind of person do you wish to be? Of what values does that person uphold? Anytime a thought or a belief is not in alignment, catch yourself. Remind that old self that this new self, this true self that is backed by this powerful and all knowing higher self, will not be overruled. And I'm telling you, if you decide it is so, it will be. If you enjoyed this episode and know someone who could benefit from today's message or any of the content that we discuss, be sure to share it with them. As always, I thank you for tuning in. Until next time, continue to show up for yourself in a major way.